11 News starts with breaking news.
Breaking now, Duquesne University is talking about an independent investigation into the death of Marquise Brown. He fell from a dorm room window nearly 2 years ago. The medical examiner ruled the manner of death undetermined. Pittsburgh police closed the case, saying everything indicated that Brown killed himself, but Brown's mother hasn't given up her fight for answers. Channel 11's Liz Kilmer has the breaking details.
Today, attorneys for Duquesne University held a press conference to discuss what they say was a thorough, independent investigation into this tragedy. This after renewed calls for attention, including a hunger strike here at Freedom Corner and specific demands from the victim's mom.
But with false rumors and disinformation being spread.
Attorneys for Duquesne University addressing the renewed cries for answers and justice in the death of Marcus J.B. Brown, a student athlete killed when he fell from the 16th floor of a dorm back in October of 2018. The lawyers with Reed Smith telling the media they conducted a thorough independent investigation supporting original Pittsburgh police findings that J.B. broke a window and jumped after police were called for erratic behavior. They say witnesses, which included not just the campus officers but an RA and JB's roommate, all claim that the police on scene did their best to de-escalate with no confrontation, no threat of force. A drug test revealed JB had marijuana in his system, although the investigation could not determine where he got it from. This summer, JB's mother called for answers, beginning a hunger strike and protesting. She issued demands to include a fully independent new investigation, body cameras, and more training for Duquesne officers. During the conference, attorneys stated the university has committed to cameras and training and has been transparent, providing the legal files it could since the very start.
This is not a case of police misconduct. And honestly, it's very difficult hearing that kind of thing being said. There's absolutely no evidence that this was a case of police intimidating someone, a case of police using force or threats of force, or even a situation where police were negligent.
That was Liz Kilmer reporting. Lawyers stated that his mother has made recent monetary demands from Duquesne but would not elaborate. We have reached out to her for a comment and response but are still waiting to hear back. More breaking news. The State Judicial Conduct Board has filed formal charges against an Allegheny County judge. Judge Mark Tranquilli was put on administrative duties earlier this year because of accusations that he made racist comments about a juror. The Conduct Board has filed a petition for Tranquilli to be suspended with or without pay while they continue their investigation. Just yesterday, Tranquilli's attorney told the Trib the inquiry was wrapping up. And at that point, Tranquilli would be able to respond publicly to the allegations. We're working to get a response now and look for updates in this newscast tonight at 5. More breaking news. New coronavirus cases are under 100 again for the 6th straight day. But the Allegheny County Health Department is reporting a jump in the number of deaths. Health officials say they've learned of 13 deaths since yesterday. Those date back to July 25th. 9 of the patients were in long-term care facilities. The health department is also reporting 70 new cases out of nearly 1,800 tests done since August 3rd. That is the 6th straight day that we've been under 100. The positivity rate on the latest test is under 4%. Allegheny County leaders are set to hold their weekly briefing this afternoon. Look for developing details starting at 5 on Channel 11 News. A week after saying they would reopen without the governor's okay, a group of restaurant and bar owners in Allegheny County are again saying they're moving forward with that threat. Channel 11's Jillian Hartman has the breaking details on when they could stop following state orders.
Well, I just got confirmation that a lot of bar and restaurant owners may take matters into their own hands. That means opening up bar service again and allowing more than 25% capacity in their establishments. Now, I just got off the phone with Ronnie Ambrogi, the president of the Southwest PA Restaurant and Tavern Association. He's the owner of Al's Cafe in Bethel Park. Last week, his association sent a letter to the governor asking to loosen some restrictions. He tells me they have not heard back from the governor yet, and if they don't hear from him by this Friday, August 14th, here's what may happen 2 days from now. Ambrogi says a lot of restaurant and bar owners may open their bars for direct service again, and they will allow more than 25% capacity. Instead, they will just enforce a 6-foot rule to allow more customers inside while still following other safety guidelines.
That's what it's looking like. I mean, that's what, from what I understand, too. I mean, everybody's getting to the point. I'm getting hundreds of calls where everybody's getting fed up with it. And they're losing their businesses, and they got to do something. You know, they're losing employees.
Now, Ambrogi says they are pushed in a corner and trying to do everything they can to protect their livelihoods and family businesses. They are still hoping to hear from the governor by Friday. I did ask him if owners are worried about getting in trouble for breaking the rules. He says at this point, they're willing to take a risk. Now, I'm going to reach out to Allegheny County in regards to their COVID-19 response team enforcing these current restrictions to see how they will handle this possible restaurant revolution. I'll have that story tonight at 6. I'm Jillian Hartman, Channel 11 News.
And more details, 2 Allegheny County businesses are closed because they violated COVID-19 regulations. One of them is 7 Nightclub downtown. Health inspectors say there was a private party with more than 25 people there. They saw people sitting at the bar but didn't see any food being served, which is a violation of the governor's orders from July. The other place is Nerds on Brownsville Road in Carrick. It's a computer and phone repair store that was serving snacks. Inspectors say customers weren't socially distanced and the business was operating without a health permit, and they're accused of sponsoring after-hours parties. An assistant district attorney who filed a complaint about COVID-19 conditions at the Allegheny County Courthouse has died from the virus. Russ Broman was well known in the community. The Allegheny County District Attorney's Office called him a blue-collar, roll-up-your-shirt-sleeves prosecutor who is incredibly passionate about keeping our community safe. Broman was admitted into a hospital last month. That's when he filed a complaint believing he contracted COVID-19 while working at the courthouse. He died yesterday after several days on a ventilator. Broman's colleagues believe that his death could have been prevented, and they're now picking up Broman's fight.
Had those very proactive steps been taken immediately after the first COVID report on June 25th, I believe Russ Broman would be alive.
The president judge of the courthouse called the courthouse safe as long as people follow the rules like wearing masks and social distancing. Last month, she moved all criminal division hearings online after at least 3 prosecutors contracted the virus. Another assistant district attorney is still fighting COVID-19. Ted Dukowski was released from the hospital, but he told the Trib that he still has trouble breathing. He also believes he got the virus at the courthouse. He is appealing after his initial workers' compensation claim was denied. The DA's office told us they have implemented COVID-19 safety measures like letting folks work from home, extra office cleaning, and air quality exams. The office is also considering temperature checks, tracing technology, and touchless building entry. The Bethel Park School Board is changing course. Last week, they said they wanted to kick off the year with a hybrid model combining in-person classes and online learning, but now they're going with online only. Channel 11's Mike Holden walks us through the new plan.
The back-to-school plan right here in Bethel Park has changed yet again. The board has shifted to an all-online return to school, at least for the start of the year. After last week, they were moving toward a hybrid model. Parents and grandparents told Channel 11 they're just trying to keep up with these constant changes.
About what is best for their children. And
after a roughly 4-hour-long board meeting held last night via Zoom, the Bethel Park School Board has reached a decision. They voted to start school virtually, keeping students at home and online for the first 4 weeks of class. The first day of school has been pushed back to September 1st instead of August 26th to allow teachers to train on the system. Students will then eventually switch to a hybrid model on October 5th. Then the ultimate goal is to go back to 100% in-person instruction by January of 2021. Last week, the assistant superintendent told Channel 11, based on the number of cases in the county, they were prepared to update their opening plan to make sure everyone was healthy and safe. District leaders said these dates and timeframes are subject to change based on the status of the pandemic. Meantime, parents and grandparents say it's been a challenging and long experience.
It's going to be a whole year that their lives have been disrupted. And it's just going to be tough for them to get to be normal.
And district leaders tell us they're keeping a close eye on this ever-evolving situation. I'm now working to get in touch with them to ask them what will happen next. Plus, we're talking to additional parents and grandparents about navigating this process and how they're preparing to help their kids learn from home. For Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in Bethel Park this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
And more details now. Half of U.S. elementary and high school students will study virtually only this fall. That's according to the school data collection company BurBio. It found 52% of students will go to school virtually only, and just 25% will attend class every day in person. The remaining 19% will have some form of hybrid schooling. 4% of districts still have not made a decision. The Leechburg Area School District is rethinking its back-to-school plan because of new recommendations from the state. In June, the school board voted to return students to the classroom full-time. But on Monday, the State Department of Education said a hybrid model should be considered in districts with moderate levels of COVID-19 transmissions. That's what the Leechburg area is still seeing, and the school board could vote to modify their plan as soon as today. You can find school changes on our website and the WPXI streaming apps. It's up now in our Back to School section on WPXI.com. New at noon, people in 2 Pittsburgh neighborhoods have to boil their water. This affects about 860 homes in the Lincoln, Leamington, Belmar, and Homewood North neighborhoods. The PWSA says a water line broke on Apple Street early this morning, and repairs are happening now. But that caused a water pressure loss, which can allow contaminants to get into the drinking water. There's going to be a water buffalo in the lot next to the fire station at Leamington Avenue and Missouri Street. Joe Biden and his running mate are preparing for their first public appearance together since yesterday's announcement. Senator Kamala Harris is the first woman of color on a major party ticket for vice president. Biden and Harris are set to make their first appearance together since the announcement this afternoon.
I honestly would have thought I would be sick too for 2 weeks and then get over it.
She started feeling sick March 27th. Now, months later, she says she has had 50 COVID-19 symptoms. The long-haul patient shares her story.
He was screaming, he was throwing a fit, he was screaming, no, no, no.
Her family got to their destination, then the same airline kicked them off as they were heading home. The mask debate centering on a little boy with autism.
Spotty showers possible for today, also very warm and muggy. More details coming up after the break, so stick around.
When news is happening near you, Channel 11 is there.
Aliquippa, Coriopolis, Moon. We cover news everywhere you live.
That's what makes Channel 11 News different.
We're in McCandless, Cranberry, Butler. For news from where you live,
watch Channel 11 News at 5.
You're streaming WPXI now. Channel 11 expands its streaming live newscasts. When other stations are national, Channel 11 News is local, right here at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on WPXI Now. Watch Catherine Amenta and Gordon Lesh on Channel 11 Morning News.
A Monroeville nursing home is dealing with a COVID-19 outbreak. Monroeville Rehab and Wellness Center confirmed to 11 Investigates it has 55 cases. But just last week, the center reported 0 cases. We asked the Department of Health about the sudden jump, and they told us they, quote, have seen all too frequently that facilities are not following the order as required. We need long-term care facilities to provide this data to the department in a complete and accurate manner. The same company that owned Monroeville Rehab also owns Brighton Rehab and Wellness Center in Beaver County. Brighton, you'll remember, had the biggest COVID-19 outbreak in the state with more than 400 cases and 73 deaths.
I honestly would have thought I would be sick too for 2 weeks and then get over it.
It's a side of COVID-19 that we're just beginning to learn about. Patients impacted for the long haul. While many point to the overall high survival rates in younger people, one survivor from Texas says those numbers are not telling the full story about what it's like to battle the virus. Devin Skillian has her story.
Don't know how it's going to affect you or someone else. You don't know.
Jolene Nelson started feeling sick on March 27th. She thought she was getting a cold, not COVID-19.
I was healthy. I was completely fine.
The week before, she had lost her sense of smell and taste, and back then that really wasn't yet a recognized symptom. But Jolene was just 40, healthy and active.
I honestly would have thought I would be sick too for 2 weeks and then get over it.
Jolene is a physical therapist. For months now, she has meticulously documented her symptoms, which now number more than 50.
It's been pretty severe. There's been 2 times my boyfriend had to call 911. The most frightening have been I'm now having seizures from COVID, hallucinating, I have brain fog, I have electrical shock running through my body. It feels like an electrical centipede.
This is video Jolene recorded of herself suffering a seizure in bed. She recently underwent a 48-hour EEG to monitor her seizures.
I can't work. I can't drive. My license is being taken away now, my driver's license. I can't go on my jet ski. I can't go for a bike ride.
She can't even go for a walk unless someone goes with her. Jolene has become vocal on social media, sharing her story to warn others. It is difficult to read posts that claim the virus is a hoax, that it's like the flu, or that it doesn't impact younger people.
It makes me very angry, and it makes me upset because you don't know if you're going to be one of the unlucky ones that's going to have long-lasting symptoms.
Her advice to others?
I would tell them definitely wear a mask, social distance. Just be safe. Don't go to large parties. Don't go out to the bars. You know, people will get upset about saying that, but that's how it's spreading. And just be careful. It's life-changing. It's completely changed my life. Trying to find the silver lining in it. I don't see it yet.
That was Devin Skillian reporting. The CDC recently found 1 in 5 previously healthy young adults were not back to their usual state of health 2 to 3 weeks after testing positive. A new study from UPMC finds people who test negative for COVID-19 are unlikely to retest positive. The new research was published in the Journal of Infection Control and Hospital Epidemiology. UPMC looked at 418 patients who initially tested negative for COVID-19. Researchers found that 96% of them tested negative again. UPMC says it shows false negative tests appear to be rare. A Texas family was removed from a Southwest Airlines flight over a face covering issue. The mom says her 3-year-old son, who has autism and a doctor's note, would not wear a mask.
He was screaming. He was throwing a fit. He was screaming, no, no, no.
Southwest got the Houston woman and her 2 children across the state to Midland last week, but now she has to find a different way home. Her flight home left the gate Monday morning, only to quickly return when her son wouldn't wear a mask. He has sensory processing disorder and doesn't like his face touched. He even had a note about his condition from his doctor. Southwest Airlines says all customers over age 2 have to cover their faces while traveling, something that's pointed out during the booking and online check-in process. The airline said in a statement if a customer is unable to wear a face covering for any reason, Southwest regrets that we are unable to transport the individual.
I think there needs to be something in place for, children or even adults with disabilities who can't wear a mask. They should have some kind of exemption.
She says her son didn't wear a mask while boarding or even on the flight to Midland. Now it looks like they won't be flying back. A family member is going to drive to Midland and bring them home.
You're
your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
We have a warm Wednesday this midday. Happy Wednesday to you. 82 right now in Pittsburgh, partly cloudy on the muggier side with a dew point of 63 degrees. We've been quiet. A few clouds, especially to our south and west. And then a few spots here on the radar, but they're very small. Notice that we're mostly dry, and we're mostly dry even across the region. But notice to our south, portions of Virginia, you see some rain sparking there. That's where that front is. It's going to stall, and that will really be the concentration or the focus of where rain will develop. So we could see some rain to our south, but rain chances as we go throughout the day, notice hour by hour, will be very slim. So far toward the south, maybe south of Uniontown or around Uniontown, Morgantown, could be seeing a few isolated showers. For the rest of us, rain chances continue to be very small. Some of this moisture could shift off toward the north, but again, we will continue to see very isolated rain chances where most of us will be completely dry. Maybe a shower or two tonight, but we're really looking quiet as we move toward the morning hours. And for Thursday, a similar scenario, isolated rain chances. So earlier in the week, we were talking about maybe some scattered showers, a little bit more coverage. Really not seeing that to be the case. So updated information showing less rain than expected. So just keep that in mind. We really need the rain, hoping to have more rain. We will have an updated drought monitor to come out tomorrow. So we'll really see how bad our drought conditions are here in western Pennsylvania. But for tomorrow, again, very small, very spotty, very isolated. That seems to really be about it. Isolated rain chances will continue for the rest of this work week. This weekend right now is looking likely to have a little bit more coverage going into the weekend, which is what we need. But also this weekend is when people like to head out and about. So maybe during the work week will be a better time. But again, just keep in mind that we do need the rain. Tracking the tropics, we have Tropical Depression 11 expected to strengthen into Tropical Storm Josephine. It's something to watch today. It is expected to strengthen. As a matter of fact, it's just slightly below the criteria of a tropical storm. So that will be something, again, to track as we go throughout the day today to see if that actually happens. But the high, 88, just a few degrees from 90. Again, very warm, very muggy with that small chance for an isolated shower. We're going to keep the humid conditions even when the humidity starts to trend downwards. Still very muggy for the days ahead. Here's your 5-day forecast. Stray shower or two for tomorrow and isolated rain chance for Friday. Scattered showers and thunderstorms for this weekend. And temperatures this weekend, we can always in view. We're looking to be in the mid to upper 80s.
We feel like the greatest need that we can help with right now is the child care portion of school.
Some students may be learning from home this school year, but their parents have to go to work. How one local camp plans to help. A lemonade stand robbed. How neighbors are rallying behind two boys held up at gunpoint.
Channel 11 Morning News brings you what's happening now.
Breaking overnight, Isaias makes landfall. I'm taking you live to the Carolinas.
What's new?
This morning, those business owners will hold a rally to get the governor's attention.
This group may just give the governor an ultimatum.
And what's next?
High school sports hanging by a thread.
What happens next? That is clearly the big question. The PIAA is meeting again today.
Notice on Storm Tracker, one of these thunderstorms, brief heavy downpour.
Count on Channel 11 News for live coverage every morning.
severe weather coverage where you live.
On Channel 11 News.
First, it was mystery seeds. Now face masks that were not ordered are popping up in mailboxes. The FTC and BBB say this is part of the online scheme we've been telling you about called brushing. Sellers get your information and send you things you didn't ask for. They're usually lightweight and cheap, like face masks. Then they use your name to post fake reviews to boost their sales. The FTC recommends that you change your passwords if you receive packages from China that you didn't order. TikTok's Android app collected unique identifying data from users for more than a year using a loophole banned by Google. The Wall Street Journal reports the data in question is most commonly used for advertising purposes. TikTok ended the practice late last year. This comes as TikTok and its parent company are under pressure from the White House over concerns data it collects could be used to help the Chinese government. Two boys selling lemonade in Illinois last week were robbed of their hard-earned cash, and it was caught on surveillance video. You could see two teenagers approach the boys at the stand. One is in a dark hoodie there displaying what police say looked like a gun, then quickly snatches the cash box, running off with just $30. The father of one of the boys said it was terrifying at first, but what really moved him was how neighbors responded. Some bought a glass of lemonade for $20 after they heard what happened.
One guy in particular, he came back like a half hour later, and he had all these bags of chips and candy and everything, and he's like, hey, you can sell this at your stand, like you can make some more money, and he helped him set it up. And so many people just stopped and said things to the boys like, hey, don't quit, like don't let this stop you, don't let this discourage you.
They are still deciding what to do with the extra money, but it will make sure that we'll make sure it's invested in something positive, they say. Postal Service isn't getting help, but the Trump administration is making cuts. The election worries that people on the front lines are sharing with us.
There will not be an economic recovery.
Pittsburgh is in a budget crunch. The help the mayor says we desperately need.
WPXI Now. When a major story breaks, this is where you'll find 24-hour coverage. From the Channel 11 newsroom to our crews live in the field, we'll bring you the information you need right now. WPXI Now. Always on when you want the latest on breaking news. Channel 11 Morning News brings you what's happening now.
Closure of Penn Avenue because of this overnight water main break.
What's new and what's next.
High school sports hanging by a thread.
The PIAA is meeting again today.
Count on Channel 11 News every morning. Watch David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan on Channel 11 News at 5.
We wouldn't even come close to filling the hole. It's the reality of where we are.
Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto talking today about money problems caused by coronavirus. He said laying off hundreds of city workers would not fill the gap, but he says it may not have much of a choice if Congress doesn't step up. Channel 11's Gabriella DeLuca has more on the strain the city is facing.
Hundreds of people who drive into the city for work every day, some who may be working from home now, may find themselves not having a job in a few months. Mayor Bill Peduto said that could be the reality. Layoffs could be coming if we don't get federal funding.
Let me be very clear about this. There will not be an economic recovery if we allow our cities to go bankrupt.
That's the fear Mayor Peduto has for the city of Pittsburgh if it doesn't get federal funding for next year's budget.
We're not looking at it as a handout that will be on a continuous basis. We're looking at it as a bridge to help us get through a national crisis.
The request comes after a meeting with state leaders and after the city lost $100 million out of next year's $600 million budget, all because of the coronavirus.
A 10% across the board cut through every department of the city of Pittsburgh would have 400 people losing their jobs, and it won't even make up the difference of where our deficit is.
Every department means police and firefighters too. And keep this in mind, this is after non-personnel cuts have already been made. Channel 11 wanted to know what would that mean for our city. If some police officers were cut, would our streets be as safe? And if we had fewer firefighters, would their response times be slower? Public safety said cuts would certainly have an impact, but without knowing the specifics, it's hard to gauge the extent of that impact. We hope the federal government will recognize the needs of local governments and help ensure staffing continuity. It is safe to say that additional cuts to personnel would be a concern. According to the mayor, the layoffs can all be avoided.
Same that we would look at it as a hurricane or any other natural or man-made disaster. We have a disaster that is occurring throughout our country, and it needs a national solution.
The mayor says he has to present next year's budget to city council in September. They are trying to push that back until November so they can see what Washington does with funding. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
The Elizabethboro Police Department is shut down after several cases of COVID-19. Elizabethboro is now being covered by Elizabeth Township, Forward Township, and the Lincoln Borough Police Departments. West Elizabethboro is getting help from Jefferson Hills and Clairton Police. When you call 911, the closest department will respond. 3 Elizabethboro police officers tested positive. The chief says a 4th is sick and awaiting results. The other 5 police departments will help with routine patrols until the department can reopen. The state health department says they did not want the Washington Wild Things to suspend their season. The state confirmed with us that they did issue a warning, but said the baseball team could still play. An anonymous complaint said that the stadium was over the pandemic-issued 250-person limit, something the team strictly denies. The team told Channel 11 they didn't want to jeopardize future operations by disputing the complaint. Now more Decision 2020 coverage and concerns about the integrity of the November election. The U.S. intelligence community recently said Russia is trying to damage Joe Biden and influence the November election. In the wake of that news, here's the latest poll from NBC News and SurveyMonkey. 55% of adults are either not too confident or not at all confident about the fairness of the election. And when it comes to voting by mail, 55% say they will vote by mail. But while 8 out of 10 Democrats say they'll mail in their ballots, only 3 out of 10 Republicans say they will. Mail-in ballots will put pressure on the U.S. Postal Service, and changes made by a recent appointee of President Trump are raising red flags. Our senior correspondent, Blair Miller, at our Washington, D.C. bureau, has the story.
The Postal Service is in need of billions of dollars. Without it, they're making cuts, and the impact could be severe now and as we get closer to Election Day.
The U.S. Postal Service trying to keep up, but workers say the mail is moving too slow.
To deal with the financial shortfall into the tens of billions of dollars, the Postal Service has made changes, including eliminating overtime and jobs, leading to a slowdown.
So it's very demoralizing to the workers.
Lawmakers worry it will impact absentee and mail-in voting. Mark Diamondstein, head of the U.S. Postal Workers Union, says it could be an issue because of the job cuts. And if they continue until November, getting the ballots sent to people and returned would be an issue.
The states will have to compensate and make sure the ballots get out that much sooner, and people need to vote quickly.
Mail delays have already been reported across the country.
A lot of them are bills, and then they're going to charge you late charges.
We've missed 6 collection days in the last 4 weeks, which means they're not delivering, they're not collecting, so it's a problem. Medicines aren't being delivered, bills aren't going out in the mail.
The president continues to claim mail-in voting could lead to voting fraud. On the Senate floor today, Democrats acknowledged people should be aware how these cuts might impact elections.
Elections should certainly concern Americans as well. The current issues at the post office alarm every American.
The head of the Postal Service recently took issue with some of this, saying they are not slowing down election mail or any other mail. I'm Blair Miller for Channel 11 News.
And the Postal Service may not be done making changes ahead of the November election. The Capitol Forum reports there is a proposal by Postal Service executives to make states pay the regular 55 cents per ballot instead of the 20 cent per ballot rate they usually pay. Pennsylvania had about 1.4 million mail-in ballots for the June primary election. So during the Pennsylvania primary, that would have cost the state $770,000. That's an increase of nearly 3 times. However, Pennsylvania is committed to paying voters postage no matter the cost. The stretch of hot and humid days continues. Meteorologist Jessica Faith has a forecast now at Severe Weather Center 11.
Yeah, so we're hot and humid and also dry, as you can see looking at the radar right now this midday. Earlier in the week, we were hoping for more rain. Now, looking at the latest data, we're really just looking really dry with a few isolated rain chances. There were very small dots on the radar, just trying to find some rain right now to the south and east of Beaver. Notice the light green dots there, and also to the south or north and west rather of Pittsburgh. Just a few what could be very small light showers on the radar, and that's pretty much about it. Not helping with the heat at all. Temperatures cranking up this midday. A very warm start to the afternoon. 82 in Greensburg, 82 in Pittsburgh. Washington, you're at 83 degrees, also 82 in Beaver and in Butler. That is where we should be for the daytime high. We will continue to escalate into the afternoon, getting very warm. We're keeping that humidity. Could see a stray shower, especially to our south later today. Upcoming days, keeping rain chances quite slim. Gordon.
The guys get to the base of the tree and look up. It's 43 feet in circumference, about 100 feet high and 100 feet wide.
A wildfire sparked an unusual life-saving challenge. The rush to save one of the oldest trees in North America. Next.
Last week on Channel 11 News.
A surprise announcement. We brought it to you live this morning here on Channel 11.
We don't do any sports until January 1st.
I was shocked this morning. The dominoes will start to fall.
Sending your kids to college is one of the biggest expenses many families will ever have.
Angie Moreski is live with a look at how to get the most for your money. It's not what we signed up for.
Storm cell moved across the city. You can expect quickly changing conditions.
Watch Channel 11 News every day at 5 and 6 p.m.
What's new?
What's now and what's next every morning
On Channel 11 Morning News.
During a wildfire, fire crew's top priority is to save lives and property. But during the recent Apple fire in Southern California, a national treasure created an unusual life-saving challenge. Reporter Daytona Everett has more on the fight to save the oldest oak tree in North America.
It was the fight to save a life.
They were going up to save the largest oak tree in North America.
The life of the champion oak tree.
I just woke up and knew right away what we had to do.
Of course, Oakland Preserve expert Tim Krantz needed a team to help. That team was 30 inmates.
It was a special crew. It's a convict crew.
And they had no idea what they were getting into.
It's 3,000 feet of vertical. It's a 45-degree angle. Full sun. These fire crew guys are lugging chainsaws and fuel and picks and shovels, dressed in full fire gear. The guys get to the base of the tree and look up. It's 43 feet in circumference, about 100 feet high and 100 feet wide.
With the fire quickly approaching.
And here's the helicopters doing drops just 100 meters upslope from us.
It was time to get to work.
Really exciting with the helicopters right above us and the guys working hard. And it took them about 2 hours of work for 30 guys to clear that brush and save the tree. Really made us all very proud, I think.
Experts predict the champion oak tree is between 800 and 1,000 years old, and thanks to that firefighting crew, it lives on. When it comes to online learning, one of the parents' biggest concerns is childcare. How a local camp is filling that void.
Pretty warm right now for your lunchtime hour, even hotter this afternoon. More details about the heat throughout the rest of this week.
You're streaming WPXI Now, your source for original local shows. Get the inside scoop on all the hot events, entertainment, and celebrities in and around Pittsburgh every week. Stream Access Pittsburgh on demand anytime on WPXI Now.
Channel 11 covers weather everywhere you live.
And we have the experience to get it right.
We know the unique weather patterns across our neighborhoods.
It's why it can be raining in Beaver County,
while it's dry in Westmoreland County.
Weather coverage you can count on.
Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist, Stephen Cropper, tracking the weather in your neighborhood.
One of the biggest concerns parents have about online learning is childcare. Who's going to watch their child while they're at work? Now, Jumonville Camp in Fayette County plans to fill that void with something called Jayville U. Channel 11's Melanie Gillespie spoke with the camp's president to find out how it will work.
Jumonville is typically bustling with kids this time of year for summer camps, but pretty much all of that's been canceled. So they're doing something a little bit different this year to help parents struggling with those back-to-school plans, getting kids into a day camp, transforming buildings like this into a classroom. As school districts around our area try to finalize back-to-school plans, some adopting a more remote and virtual approach, Jumonville is stepping in to support those working parents.
It's really our mission to not just be set apart on the hillside, but really be in ministry with the community. And we feel like the greatest need that we can help with right now is the child care portion of school.
Called Jayville U, the virtual learning experience will be adapted into a day camp type setting Monday through Friday from 8 to 5.
For families who aren't able to work from home or work remotely in any sort of way, we wanted to do something that we could say to the families, here's a safe option. We'll take care of your children. We'll do everything we can to make sure they get their schoolwork done. And in the afternoons or when it's done, we're going to have some fun.
And with more than 300 acres and 30 buildings, there's enough space to learn and social distance here.
Because we have so much space and the ability to spread out, we will be following all the guidelines of keeping the kids in pods. Even if they don't choose to come every day that they come, they'll be in the same pod as they were before so that we can do as much contact tracing as possible.
One of the future virtual classrooms even has a history lesson in and of itself, dating back to after the Civil War.
After the Civil War, it served as an orphan school for children who lost their fathers or whose fathers were not able to work anymore. And this building behind us, which we'll be using for Jayville U, was their main classroom. So it stood for 200 years or so, and we're excited that it's going to be back in its original use.
Jumonville says it plans on taking on 100 kids a day. You can register online. We'll have a link to that on our website, WPXI.com. Reporting in Fayette County, I'm Melanie Gillespie for Channel 11 News.
Channel 11 and 11 Cares are helping make sure students have what they need to head back to school. The Jerome Bettis Bus Stops Here Foundation is holding a Pack the Bus event looking for used laptops and tablets for students. The drive is set for this Saturday at the Stage AE parking lot from noon to 4.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Happy Wednesday, still looking good. This midday as we look outside, maybe you want to have lunch outside. Do know that we are quite warm. Hey, this is actually where we should be for the daytime high. 82 degrees, and this is just the start of the afternoon. We have a lot more warming to do as we go throughout the day, and peak heating hours don't even begin until around 3-4 o'clock. So we're going to get quite warm today. Also quite muggy with a dew point of 63 as you head outside. Not really seeing too much action. We've seen just a few spots between Beaver and Pittsburgh, and that's about it as far as the action is concerned. We're looking mostly dry, and that's pretty much how it's expected to be. So within the next hour or so, still looking to be dry, maybe even a few more clouds to push in. As far as rain, we're really looking at the concentration of rain to be farther toward the south. So Morgantown, Uniontown, you could be seeing some showers as we go throughout the afternoon and evening hours. Even into the nighttime hours, a few spotty showers are expected, but not likely for many. What we're looking at for the rest of this week is really just an overall dry rest of the week with the possibility for a spotty shower. So we began the week really talking about rain chances, but now they're looking very slim to possibly even none for most, especially if you live farther toward the north. So we're going to keep rain chances isolated, not meaning that it's impossible, but it's just not likely for many. I would just have my rain gear ready just in case you come across a spotty shower or two, but know that your chances are slim. Better chances this weekend, and do keep in mind we do need the rain. Just not looking too good for us as we go throughout the rest of this week. Want to keep an eye on the tropics. Tropical Depression 11 is out in the open Atlantic. It is expected to continue to grow and strengthen. Right now, max sustained winds at 35 miles per hour, moving toward the west at 14. It is expected to strengthen into a tropical storm, and then the name will be Josephine. So we're now in the J's. 88 degrees for the high. Isolated shower. Again, very warm, very humid. The humidity dialing down a bit, but still quite muggy for the rest of this week heading into the weekend. So just keep that in mind. Keeping it in the 80s for the next 5 days. We can always view scattered showers, so that means more coverage than isolated, but chances still not that impressive. We're still looking to be mostly dry, also warm this weekend with highs in the mid to upper 80s.
Now here's local steals and deals.
Hi, I'm Lisa Robertson, coming to you from my home, of course. Let me tell you something that is amazing. I was just talking to somebody the other day about home security, right? I think that's something we all wonder about. But a lot of times you're saying, yeah, I'd love to have a big home security system, but I don't have $1 million. Guess what they told me? So just out of the blue, a security consultant said the other day, you should check out the Blink camera. Guess what local Steals and Deals has for you today? The Blink camera. How amazing is that? So local Steals and Deals, we really try to find you things that are going to improve your quality of life, great ideas you might not have heard of, and the Blink is definitely one of them. Now, this is actually backed by Amazon with all their resources and all their know-how. This is the security camera they get behind, and I love that. The Blink is fabulous because it's really easy to install. It's indoors or outdoors. And here's one of the amazing things. You can have HD video, you can have audio back and forth, and it's going to store the recording of the video, and you're not paying every month. Isn't that amazing? I love the fact that it's easy. I love the fact that you don't have to have anything big and complicated. I love the fact that you're not paying a monthly monitoring fee. And I love the fact that the one that we're bringing you is 3 cameras. 3 cameras for indoors or outdoors. And here's how cool it is. So you just sync up the module with an app that you put on your phone, and then whenever one of your cameras senses motion, it lets your phone know. You can go, ding, ding, ding. Oh, I see what's going on right here. You can talk to the person you see, or you can call somebody if there's a problem. I love that. I also do love the fact that you're not going to get a bill every month going, oh no, you don't have to pay that. This stores it, no problem. This is one that is normally one of the most sought after security cameras in the business, and we have it for you at 20% off. So go to localsteals.com, one of the great ideas we have for you right there, and you can have peace of mind inside, outside, at home, or anywhere else you are with the Blink XT and the 3-camera system.
On Channel 11 Morning News, we bring you what's new, what's happening now, and what's next.
That means our newsroom is always searching for new details and new stories. It also means breaking. If it's happening now, I'm on it, bringing you live updates from the breaking news desk.
Our crews know the mission, too.
We should get this on air now.
Brand new confirmed information.
Preparing you for what happens next. How will news stories, weather, and traffic affect your day?
What's new, what's now, and what's next every morning on Channel 11 Morning News.
Make sure you know everything happening in the morning. Watch Channel 11 Morning News.
One of the nation's biggest retailer groups is calling on the government to spread the word about the coin shortage. Fewer people are using cash these days. The National Association of Convenience Stores is calling on the Treasury Department and the Fed to encourage people to use exact change. They also want more people to convert their coins to paper money. The Federal Reserve issued a rationing order in June to cut down on the amount of coins provided to banks. A Roberto Clemente rookie card and team photo of the Pirates taken during Honus Wagner's first year with the team are up for auction. According to the Trib, an auction house out of New Jersey is taking bids on the rare items. The price is up to nearly $200,000. The bidding ends Sunday. The last blockbuster on Earth has pivoted from a classic video store to a dream retreat. Perfect for 90s nostalgia buffs. The store in Bend, Oregon is listed on Airbnb for 3 one-night stays in September for an end-of-summer sleepover. Each stay will include access to an unlimited movie marathon. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.